All right, the last movie in the Fantastic Four franchise before the new one comes out is Fantastic Four from 2015. Now, this movie was directed by Josh Trank, who I thought would have been a good choice because he made the absolutely underrated and amazing movie Chronicle in 2012. That movie is so good, and for him to go from that to this is kind of mind-blowing. Yes, this movie did have a lot of studio interference. It was pretty much a studio hack job. They came in, completely changed his whole idea. I don't know how good his original idea and movie would have been overall, but there was definitely some potential there. And this movie, unfortunately, just does not do anything well at all. This, without a doubt, is probably the worst movie in the Fantastic Four franchise thus far, although I can't imagine this new one being any worse than this. I mean, it had a talented cast. Like, you got Miles Teller, Michael B. Jordan, Kate Mara, Jamie Bell, Toby Kebbell, Tim Blake Nelson, Reg E. Cathy. Like, it's a good cast of people, but everybody is sleepwalking through this movie. Nobody seems like they could care less that they are in a Fantastic Four movie. The effects, really, really bad. Although I will say, I do think the stretchiness of Mr. Fantastic is slightly better here than it is in the other two movies. But everything else, especially The Thing, just looks absolutely terrible. It all leads up to a climax that is just uninteresting, and who could care less. They basically changed the whole dynamic of how the family gets their powers and everything. And there's a definite point in the movie where you can tell is exactly the point where the studio stepped in and started chopping this thing to pieces. Once it hits the point where it says 1 year later, that's when you absolutely know that there was some big changes, because from there on, the movie is not on track for anything anymore. At least up until that point, it had something kind of going a little bit. It at least had a storyline that it was trying to follow. But after that 1 year later moment, it just is all over the place, and it jumps to so many different things. They finally bring in the villain in the last 20 minutes, and it's just like, what is this movie? This movie is absolutely terrible. It's one of the worst Marvel movies out there, and it sucks because, like I said, I do think this actually had the potential to be good, and I was kind of rolling with it for a minute, and then it just completely loses everything. So if you couldn't tell, this is a movie that I don't recommend checking out if you haven't seen it.